That means you're back on the air with Eric and Robin, and we are now talking restaurant reality. This is the time when we give you the full inside scoop and unbridled truth about buying or selling a restaurant. We had a great discussion today on public relations as it relates to the restaurant industry. Hey, Eric, what do you think? Can these branding experts turn around public perception?
Robin, I think the reality is that the basics always have to be covered in the business. This is such a competitive industry that getting the food to the table on time, good service, having good food, the food quality, those are now given. The other elements are now have to come into play.
And I think also the reality is you can't confuse PR with regular marketing and advertising because couponing, advertising, branding is more of this overarching organic thing that grows over time, and you can't measure it like doing a living social coupon or a Groupon or something else that you might do that would drive traffic. You do it today and it will drive traffic tomorrow. That branding is something that happens over time, and it is a long-term investment.
It is, and you got to look at it from the brand itself, where they are, the fancy logo, the websites. There's no social media presence. A lot of time, Robin, we go look at list a restaurant and they don't have a website. They don't have any Twitter handle. They don't have no social media presence. The last time they updated their Facebook page was, in October of last year or something.
Wow.
And is
That's a miss in today. I mean, if they heard anything today, the reality is get it right on social media. And if you're not going to do it yourself, let somebody else pay somebody to do it for you.
Yeah, and we had people on the show that do that. They do social media for you. They will talk to you on a monthly basis and update for you because if you have it and don't use it, it's almost as bad as not having it at all. Would you agree, Robin?
I think, and the very first thing that anyone does now when they're getting ready to visit a restaurant, they pull out their smartphone and they will pull up Yelp or they'll pull up Google or they'll get on Twitter or Instagram, whatever different media that they use, but they'll throw your restaurant name into a search engine and whatever comes up. And if it's the guy that was in last night when your waiter was in a bad mood and slung the food down and was discourteous or whatever, that's the first impression. The first impression's no longer formed when you go in the door. It's formed online.
You're so right. That is so true. And also, one thing that resonated with me very well today from our PR expert is that, you meet a lot of people that have been in the restaurant business many, many years, and they look at you as like, everybody's my customer. Everybody eats 3 meals a day in most cases. But we heard today Alex and Elizabeth talking about, find out who your customer is. You really have to go after a certain specific type of person that's going to be the best customer for you. You can't just shout out from the rooftop of any big town in America and just say, we're here, come on over. You have to define your customer. And that's not an easy thing to do when you say, hey, I have steaks and everybody eats meat, right?
That's exactly right. And that's where there's an exercise as a marketing principle that we employed for a number of years where you actually sit down and write up the persona. You actually take a sheet of paper and say, who is my customer? Because that customer may change by day part, which means the way you reach them by day part for lunch versus happy hour versus dinner can be different. Or, as Elizabeth called out, in the same building where you have different types of concepts layered in. So you may have 4 Twitter handles you're managing because you're talking to a millennial on one hand and you're talking to their grandparents on the other.
That is so true. And so you have to focus, spend your dollars at the right place. Just don't throw a bunch of money or a little money. Because that's one thing we heard today, too, that was great from the expert is that you don't have to spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars into PR, marketing, or, social media and all these aspects. But you do have to spend money to help you, guiding you, to make sure you have the biggest return on your investment. And sometimes, Robin, that return on investment is hard to quantify, isn't it?
It is. And on the flip side, if you just think, okay, I don't have the energy, I don't have the expertise, I don't have the knowledge, I am terrified of this idea of building a brand no matter who I bring in to help me, then the way you can get the benefits of having a brand already built for you is you buy a franchise. Because when you buy a franchise, that's what you're buying. You're buying the brand, you're buying the operations, you're buying the expertise. They are managing all those elements for you. So when people say to us as restaurant brokers, do I buy an independent? Do I buy a franchise resale? That may guide your thinking because if you're not into those branding aspects of it, buy that franchise resale because they've got the brand covered.
You're so right. Out of you, all our listeners out there, think about this for a second. How many of you have gone to McDonald's because they have the best hamburgers?
No, I think that's it. That's radio silence.
Yeah, I
on
think
the
that
other
was
end.
radio silence on purpose. Exactly right. But every day there's millions and millions of people that go to McDonald's every single day because they know that brand, they know what it stands for, and they got there for a purpose. So again, the brand, the power of the brand is what makes you. But you can be a local small mom and pop in any town USA also and make your brand in your market. Honestly, I believe that if you're in a small town in America and you're listening to this on your on iTunes right now and looking for advice, it's a lot easier to conquer a town of 50,000 people than a town of 8 million.
But if you are not up for that and you want to look at a franchise or brand for sale, we have those. Because remember, our core expertise is selling restaurants. And this is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We have Subway restaurants for sale right now. That's the number one restaurant brand in the country in the quick service marketplace. And they have gone through decades of change. I mean, I can remember when Subway was on the way out, and then they found some really heavy guy named Jared that lost a bunch of weight, and they reinvented their brand. So now they're on fire. Everybody wants a Subway. We've got one listed in Atlanta at 169,000. We even have one listed in Connecticut at 199,000. Both of those are great deals. If you just want a plug and play brand, buy a franchise resale.
And for those of you interested in Connecticut, I mean, people in Connecticut have to love Subway. They love Subway because it started there. This is the birthplace of Subway. So that's a very strong market. Atlanta market is very strong. Again, Subway brand sells itself. You don't have to do a lot with the brand, but you're still going to have to reach out to customers every day to sell one sandwich at a time. That's an excellent. What else do we have, Robin, as far as name brands?
Well, continuing in the vein of sandwich shop franchises for sale, we have a Blimpies in the Atlanta market that is on sale for $69,995. Now, this Blimpie sandwich shop, it's under $70,000, has been in place for more than 10 years. Super well established, has a great loyal customer base. Blimpies at the corporate level is managing all those social media aspects, all the PR elements. The seller has a great lease at $1,617 a month. That one is plug and play. Just come in and take it over.
Wow. And for those of you that out there may want something maybe a little smaller, a little easier to get in, we have two locations of a substation, which is a regional franchise pretty much in the southeast United States. One is in Tennessee and one is in South Carolina. The Tennessee franchise sandwich shop is on the market for $149,000. It's been established for over 15 years. The one in South Carolina is just for $79,000 and it's been established for over 10 years. These are great little markets. They have their little group of people and it's very well established. You just plug and play, you come in there and you keep continuing operating in the same way. What a nice way to start your career in the food service industry.
It absolutely is. And we have over 250 listings online at WeSellRestaurants.com, and you can find us there. Every time we're not on the air, just visit WeSellRestaurants.com, and I want to encourage you to take a moment and like us on our Facebook page. We're at Facebook.com/WeSellRestaurants. You can follow us on Twitter at Sell Restaurants, and of course, we're on LinkedIn as well. We Sell Restaurants is your industry authority and source for information, and we are the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon. Remember, we are operating the largest restaurant brokerage company in the nation based on the number of listings, transaction count, and volume. We are franchising nationwide and have offices in Florida, Colorado, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee.